Hello and welcome to the Ridiculously Good VA Show with Tracy Daviero. If you are a virtual assistant or want to be one, this is the place to learn the tips and tricks you need to become a ridiculously good VA. I've been a part of the VA industry since 1998, and I'm excited to get to know you and help you build an amazing business. Let's go. Hey there, welcome to another episode of the podcast that teaches you how to be a ridiculously good virtual assistant. Today we're going to talk about what you should be sharing with your VA clients and what you don't have to share. Now, I'm not talking about sharing personal information or anything like that, what you would talk to them about. I'm talking about how you actually do the work that you do for them. You'll see what I mean. Today's quote is from Steve Jobs. It doesn't make sense to hire smart people and tell them what to do. We hire smart people so that they can tell us what to do. This quote is another one for our VA clients. Hire smart people. That's us, the VAs. And then let us do what you hired us to do. Micromanagers need not listen in to this episode, or maybe they should. Let's go. This is going to be kind of a short episode today, I think, because it's pretty much to the point. I want to talk about what you should be sharing with your clients versus what you shouldn't be sharing, or what you don't need to share with them. Because we work virtually, there are certain things that our clients need access to. But very often the lines get blurred, especially when the client starts to ask things of us or request things from us, and we aren't quite sure what the right thing to do is. So let's start with what you need to share with them. Their files. Any of their own files you need to share with them. They need to have access to them, and you do too, but anything that is theirs should be theirs. Set up a Google folder or a Dropbox folder or whatever system you're using and create a simple filing system so that they can find what they need when they need it. For one thing, it helps the back and forth communication of where do I find this, but also it does belong to them. And so we want to make sure that everybody just has access. If you are using Google, I actually prefer it for file sharing. Make sure to make the client the owner of the folders and the files, even if you're the one who creates them. It makes it easier at the end of your relationship if you do that as you go along, instead of then having to try to extricate yourself from all of the things that you have done for them. Their CRM is another thing that they need to have access to. The information that comes in through your client's CRM is theirs, and they should have their own account set up for it. Same with any kind of e-commerce stuff. You should never be setting up your own CRM, email, or bookkeeping systems and then adding the client's info to yours. Anything that they require to run their business should be paid for by them and updated in their own systems. And then you get an access username, password type thing, preferably with your own, not a shared one with them. Some systems don't do that. A lot of them, particularly I think since the pandemic, and a lot of people have started working from home or at least working remotely. I think a lot of systems now are putting together admin or delegate access and that type of thing. There can be liability issues if you're using your client's logins, like for social media. It's against a lot of the terms of service. But it's also simpler when you stop working with them if you want to extract yourself from their stuff rather than taking everything from your CRM and moving it over to theirs. It just makes things a lot more challenging. So start set up the right way, and it will just make things easier all the way along, but also at the end of your relationship, which inevitably happens. I'm not trying to tell you to, get rid of your clients. And the next thing is their passwords. This is super important as well. Anything that you use to help them should have a password for each of you if possible. But they definitely need password access for whatever you are doing for them. Using a password manager like Roboform or LastPass can help you keep everything like that really safe and secure. And I'm a big advocate, like I say, of having them having their username and password and then you having your own as well. Pretty standard stuff, right? There are probably other things that you need to share with them, but I think you're getting the point. Those are the types of things that they need access to. So let's move on to the other list. What do we not have to share with them? We don't have to share step-by-step instructions on how to do everything that we're doing for them. This is a really big one, and it really is the basis of this podcast episode. Your clients are paying you for your expertise. You don't have to teach them how to do what you do. Now, I'm going to repeat that because, well, this is a podcast and I can repeat it. Your clients are paying you for your expertise. They hire you because you have expertise to help them in their business. You do not have to teach them how to do what you know how to do. That is what I call a writer downer. So important. Some clients will ask, you can say no. And in fact, you may find yourself replaced with somebody cheaper if a client has step-by-step instructions to do the things that you do for them. And so I actually advise you to say no if somebody wants the step-by-step instructions. Now, if they already have them and they have provided those to you so that you know how they want things done, then it's fine to update them whenever necessary. But if you are the one who has created them because you are bringing the expertise to the relationship, you never have to give them access to the step-by-step stuff. If you do have a client who insists on you creating videos or writing down all the steps, you can decline, and you can do it politely or not. To me, that client would be considered a micromanager, and I would simply let them go. They don't need to know how you do it or be able to invite anybody off the street to do it. They're paying you to make sure the thing gets done. And they may also be able to tell you what steps not to miss, like, say, make sure you do SEO on my blog posts, or make sure you put alt text with my images. Whatever those things are, they can instruct you on those things that maybe you need to add to your own processes. But if they want to do your tasks, they need to learn how to do it on their own, just the way you did. And if they want to hire somebody else, they need to find somebody qualified. What I've done for clients in the past is to give an overview of the task. For example, create the newsletter, update the subject line, update the content, images are found or created here, links are found here, send a test email to check all, the links and do a proofread, and then schedule to send, etc. That's typically a procedure or a process that I would send to a client if they asked me, how do you do my newsletter? It's not a process that somebody off the street could complete, like click file, click open, click on the subject line, update it with these words, etc., etc., etc. The person taking over the task would have to know what they're doing to use the process that I give the client, right? And I think those processes are okay to share. But not writing down everything you know for them. That's the step-by-step stuff. You also don't have to share your processes with them, like how you do things or how you create them or how you research them. Again, they're paying you for the deliverable. They've hired you to get something done, so that's what they get. Collaboration is essential, so you do need to define everyone's roles. What do they have to do, when, how does that fit in with or affect timelines, deadlines, and the other people's work progress and work pace. Processes are important from a team standpoint, but not for the work you do on your own. Content creation is another thing that does not have to be shared, believe it or not. They may have their own Canva account, and that's fine, but it's not necessarily something that they need layered access to. They don't need to edit the images that you are giving them or providing for them. And that may surprise you, but again, they're paying for a deliverable. It's the completed image, presumably. So all the draft stuff and the, sample stuff doesn't really matter. You can do that work in your own Canva account. I still do prefer for a client to pay for their own, but there is a difference. And of course, you're going to use their brand colors and fonts to create templates to make it easy to create their content. But you're still only delivering the final images unless they pay you for those templates. Interesting, right? That's sort of a head scratcher for some people. And finally, the last thing that you don't need to share with them is strategy. This can be a really touchy subject for some VAs because they feel like they should be charging more for giving a client advice or strategy around the work that they're doing for them. And it should be billable. I'm not going to, well, it is billable as a matter of fact. I'm not going to talk about you having just one billable rate today. A lot of VAs think that strategy or advice should be delivered at a higher billable rate. And those are the conversations that we get into. And certainly the client should be charged more for it. but there's a way to do it as well. The way that I teach VAs to cost their services and price their services takes all of that into account, but your billable rate is still yours. I still believe that you should only have one. Again, not going to get into that on this particular episode, but they are definitely different, the strategy and the work. And both are billable to the client. Okay, you don't give advice, you don't give strategy for free. It comes into your billables for your client. And just because you work with clients who do podcasts, it doesn't mean you should be giving your client advice about where to market theirs, even if you have other clients who are doing things like that. It doesn't mean you can't do that. I'm just saying podcast support doesn't typically have to include strategy, as an example. It's one of those, you don't have to do this just because the client asks tasks, right? I am going to leave it there because I think that that's enough for today. And there you have it. What do you need to share with your clients? Their stuff. And what do you not need to share with them? Your stuff, your intellectual property, your processes, your training and expertise, your advice or strategy. Clients may ask. Clients will ask. You can refuse. And you remind them that they are paying you for the deliverable, the stuff that is to get done. And that's what you're going to deliver for them. Our clients do need to remember what Steve Jobs says: hire smart people, that's us, the VAs, so they can tell you what to do. They don't need to learn what we know. They don't need to teach others what we know. They need to stay in their own lane and work in their own brilliance. Anything less, to me, screams cheap client. They're looking to stop spending the money that they know they need to spend to have you help them. So if you think a conversation about no is going to be uncomfortable, think about giving it all away to them and then losing that client anyway, because that is what's going to happen with somebody who is looking to get every step-by-step instruction listed for them. I will choose no in that scenario every single time. This is exactly what I help VAs do. As a VA coach and trainer, I help you set yourself up for success, helping you fix the specific things that may not be going right in your business. When we work together, either privately or in a group, we talk specifically about your business and you. There is no one-stop solution for everyone when it comes to a service business like a VA business. I'll help you get the clarity around your issues, and I'll cheer you on as you walk through the steps to fix them. I've helped hundreds of VAs through their challenges and got them on their way to growing their business and the lifestyle that they dream of. And I would love to do the same thing for you. You can work with me privately, or you can join the Virtual Circle, my monthly mastermind group for VAs. You can check it out at yourvamentor.tvc, as in the Virtual Circle. I bet it's exactly what you need to start running the VA business you dreamed of. Reach out to me if you have questions about it or if you are interested in joining. That's all I've got for you this week. I'll see you next time. Thank you so much for tuning in to this episode of the Ridiculously Good VA Show. Don't forget to subscribe so you don't miss a thing. For more great resources for your VA business, visit my website at yourvamentor.com. I'll see you back here next time.